It says I'm live. I don't know why I have headphones on. Of course, I don't notice until I see it on the live stream. I don't need headphones. I'm not listening to anyone. As a matter of fact, I can hear myself much better without headphones on, so that's fun. My room is a mess. You guys get the one sliver of acceptable Ryan's bedroom space. The rest of this is it's no good. But hi. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully you can hear everything. It still feels weird to have like a microphone and not have a microphone, but whatever. I'm here with my new comics. The few of them that I have. It's a small week for me. I only have this many. I haven't counted, but this is a small little batch. Which is okay. I'm fine with that. I still have a few to read from last week, and then a few to read from forever. I have a giant pile of comics that will never die. Hello, John. Hello, Josh. Good to see you guys. Good to see you again, Josh, specifically because I saw you 10 hours ago. That feels like so much longer when you say 10 hours. So I got all of these, but I also got some other things that are large enough to not be a mystery. So I will go over everything as I always do here on this show. Get my phone out of the way. I'm going to put this pile face down and give you my thoughts on my entire pull list, starting with this book, Action Comics. Okay, this is fun. This is really fun. I really like this comic. I specifically feel like, not to call you out, Josh, but I specifically feel like you might enjoy Action Comics. I don't know if we have talked about this at the comic shop or not, but actually, now that I'm opening this up, this issue maybe not the best one to show that off, but Riccardo Federici has been killing it on the interiors for this book with a lot of gnarly artwork. Hello, Kitty. This whole story arc has basically been Superman as a gladiator on War World trying to free a bunch of slaves from Mongol. It's a really badass story arc, and I love it, and I don't want it to end. I think Philip Kennedy Johnson is a really, really solid writer. On one hand, I wish he was writing more things / more popular, visible things, but on the other hand, I'm glad that he is, as far as I can remember right now, I think he is only writing Action Comics and Alien, which is a good mix. They're not very similar, but he's a really good writer, and he really jumped on my radar with The Last God. I feel like I hold this book up every time I go live, but this book, I love it. I love it so much. And Philip Kennedy Johnson, terrific writer. I know there's something else he's writing that I'm not thinking of, and it's gonna bug me. It's gonna hit me in like 20 minutes when it's totally not relevant anymore. But whatever. I'll put that back on the shelf when I'm done. Next book, Human Target. Okay. Guy Gardner is not my favorite Green Lantern, but he has been a pretty hilarious antagonist throughout the recent issues of this book. Hey, yeah, just jump up here. Shut up. Ryan, what is the name of the shop you work at? I'm coming up there this summer for Foo Fighters. I work in Mill Geek Comics, man. Me and Russ and Comic Tom is there occasionally, but not reliably. Hey, don't bite it, and just rub on it if you want to. I don't feel like this particular issue. Oh goodness, you're trying to eat the whole thing. I don't think this particular issue is going to be extremely valuable, so you go for it. Human Target's awesome. It's a little too awesome at times. There's a gigantic like romantic subplot in this comic that romance is a tricky subject. I don't like it. It's a kind of a depressing thing to say, but I don't like it. But that doesn't mean I don't like this book, because there's a lot more here than if this were just like a romantic comedy, for example, or just some kind of generic love story. I would not be into it, but this is a murder mystery / like kind of espionage spy noir type story mixed with superheroes with some of the coolest art that I think I've like ever seen, or at least out of any comic on my pull list currently right now. Greg Smallwood is a really good artist who has the ability to make just basic scenes like this just work really well. Hi. This nine panel page over here is just a phone, just a phone with various things happening around it in the background. You've got the main character, Christopher Chance, here in his hotel room, just getting wasted like he does in every issue. Um, I don't want to spoil it too much because this is issue 6 of 12, I believe. And I believe it's going on hiatus after this one. So this is a good time to track down all 6 issues and get caught up if you passed on Human Target. I think a lot of people have Tom King fatigue. I don't know if that's the right word, but a lot of people see Tom King's name on a comic and pass on it. I think that's a mistake. And I also think Human Target is one of his more approachable books, whereas some other things he writes can be a little dense and convoluted and full of weird backstory. This book deals a lot with the Justice League International team that I have no familiarity with whatsoever. I'm aware of characters like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I know they exist. I have not really read anything with them in it, though. And I'm sure your enjoyment of this series would be higher if you were familiar with that team and those characters and their history, but you don't need to know that stuff to have a good time with this story. So Human Target, halfway done, going on hiatus, I'm pretty sure. This is a perfect time to jump on, although any time is a perfect time to jump onto an excellent comic. Next book. Oh, Detective Comics. This is a Lee Bermejo variant for Detective Comics. Not my favorite of his. This is just an extreme close up on the cowl. Kitty, you are gonna have to go. You're being very annoying. There you go. Go away. Get the hell out of here. This is just an extreme close up of the cowl. I feel like it's done really well, but it feels like it's a I don't know. I don't know how many Batman covers Lee Bermejo can even do, but eventually you just got to start doing extreme close-ups of stuff. I haven't read this one yet. I've read a lot of these already, but not this one. This has to be close to the end of the Arkham Tower storyline, the weekly Batman event that has been going on for quite a while. Is this the end? I don't want to. I feel like I'm going to spoil myself if I keep going. If it's not the end, it is like next to last. Yep, finale. So Arkham Tower is now over. This is going back to just a monthly title after this instead of a weekly, which is good. I really loved the Arkham Tower storyline. However, in the last few issues, it has started to kind of drag, and I'm ready for things to get back to normal. So I feel like, in retrospect, 12 issues was the perfect length for this story. I think a lot more people need to be... I feel like a lot of people are reading Detective Comics. I don't have to tell people to read a Batman comic, but Arkham Tower was pretty good. Bearded Comic Bro, dear Lord, why do you start so late? Some of us have work to do and like daughters and stuff. Right, Greg? I don't know. I'm trying to make a pun based on the conversation we just had like 20 minutes ago, but I start late because I have a lot to do. I have a busy day. I'm a busy man. But see, if you're watching this live stream, then you'll know the books that I got this week, so I don't have to tell our group chat the books that I got this week for our show discussion. Speaking of which, watch Comic Talk Live on Friday nights with me and Bearded Comic Bro, and also some other people. Next book, Beast Wars. It's a Transformers book. This is pure 90s childhood nostalgia, which I don't normally indulge in, but I am for one book about robots turning into monkeys and dinosaurs and stuff. So it's pretty fun. Pretty fun if you watch the cartoon. I don't know how safely I can recommend that to any random person, but there you go. Teen Titans Academy at number 13. This is my first Teen Titans Academy book. It didn't make much sense. No one gets Beast Wars. Exactly. Yeah, it's literally like me and maybe one or two other people at my comic shop. That's probably good numbers for any shop. Maybe one or two people get it. No one gets it. No one gets that book except me. and 1 or 2 other people at every other shop ever. I'm rambling. Your world revolves around me. Bearded Comic Bro, you are filling up this chat tonight, sir. Just tell me the books you have already. Hi, Greg, says John. It's only 9 o'clock on the Best Coast. He's right. Well, it's 9:12. I feel like I'm going to get through this video a lot faster than the other ones because my stack is like half as full. Anyway, this is Teen Titans Academy number 13, part 4 of the War for Earth 3. Good Lord, I can't talk. This is a crossover event between Teen Titans Academy, Flash, Suicide Squad, and I'm not reading any of those books, but I really like Earth 3 and the Crime Syndicate, so I decided to get on this little crossover event. It wasn't bad. I mean, there's still one final chapter, so it's not the best thing I've ever read in my life. However, I feel like if I were reading any one of those comics already, if this was not a random Flash issue for me to jump into or a random Teen Titans issue for me to jump into, then I would have much more enjoyment from it. I think if you are reading any comic book, like Nightwing is the thing that comes to mind. Recently, it was telling an awesome story, and then it paused for like 3 issues to tie into the Fear State Batman event that was happening a couple of months ago. And I get the opposite feeling here with like Teen Titans Academy. It feels very much like I'm jumping into a Teen Titans book and I don't know what's going on. Whereas I would appreciate more War for Earth 3 elements woven into the story here. So I feel like for somebody who is reading Teen Titans Academy all the way through, this issue won't be as jarring of a like change in focus as the Nightwing Fear State tie-ins were. I hope I'm making sense. It's a cool story. I'm not the target audience for it. There's not enough Earth 3 action happening on here. And the whole thing feels kind of undercooked, the storyline. So I tried. Swing and a miss, however. Next book is Stranger Things Kamchatka. I'm not reading this. I won't read this for a long time, if ever. I've been getting every Stranger Things miniseries as it comes out, but I have not read them because I have not watched Stranger Things since the last season came out, and that was several years ago now. However, I think the 4th season of this show is starting in the summertime, if I'm not mistaken. So before that happens, I'm going to go through and rewatch the whole show, as well as finally dig out my several sets of Stranger Things miniseries from my short boxes and do a giant Stranger Things kind of binge to refresh myself. I'm looking forward to that, but this is gonna go straight into the box out there, unread, unopened, until whenever I get around to rewatching that show. I also have 3 trades, 2 trades and a hardcover. I'm gonna throw up this one. I grabbed Time Before Time Volume 1 today. I really like this comic. Issue 13, 12 or 13 or 11 even. I'm not sure exactly what number they're on right now, but this is the first 5 issues. Yeah, 5 issues. I really love the art in here. It's fun. It's by Joe Palmer. It's very cartoony and wow, I'm doing very poorly at this. It's a fun time travel crime story. And I really like the first arc especially. But regrettably, Joe Palmer, the artist here, is leaving this title as of whatever issue they're on now, 11 or 12, maybe 13. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 11. Anyway, Time Before Time's fun. For me to double dip like this and get a book for the shelf in addition to having it in the single issues, I think is a indicator of how much I like a certain book. If I like it enough to give it a spot on the shelf, it'll end up somewhere over here, Swamp Thing, right here. Eventually, once I put it on the shelf, I'm not going to do that right now because I have other things to add to the shelf. Other things, such as this book. This is Two Moons, Volume 2. Another book I really like from Image Comics. Another book I like so much that I got it for the wall. I don't want to show you that. That is an animal getting shot, and that's no fun. It's just got really cool art. It's a really cool Civil War kind of paranormal horror ghost story with fantastic art by Valerio John Giordano. This is trade paperback number 2. It's going to go right here next to trade paperback number 1. It's a cool book. It's on hiatus right now after the second story arc. I'm going to let somebody borrow this if somebody cares to read this. I don't know who. Certainly not my brother, who's just walking in through the front door right now. He's not coming in here. That's good. Okay. Third book I got is the Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky Daredevil hardcover, volume 2. That's going to go right here. Oh my goodness. This is not as good of a demonstration as I want. Right here. That's the first one. Second one's going to go next to it. If you have not read Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run, you should. It's really good. At least the early part of it is. I don't love it so much ever since he got arrested and went to jail and Elektra took over as Daredevil. It's not as good as it was at the beginning. It's still really good. Still really good. Worth reading. Okay. Those are my trades. 2 trades and a hardcover. Back to the books. Okay. This is the book I'm most excited to read this week, and as such, I made an active decision this week to not read my most anticipated book first, because I don't want everything else to be downhill after that. I'm very excited to read this. I have not gotten to it yet, but it's about Richard Nixon, moon landing. I love this cover by Jorge Fornes. I'm on board. I'm probably going to do that immediately once this live stream is over. Ooh, this is an example of a book that is not my favorite, so I got this one out of the way. This really is a sequel to Non-Stop Spider-Man, so much so that they kind of like spray painted the word Savage over top of Non-Stop here. You can kind of see it in the logo. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy this book, but I'm going to keep getting the final 3 issues because I can't only have part of a 5-issue miniseries or part of any run. Apparently, even if it's an ongoing book like Future State Gotham, I will continue subscribing to it until it gets canceled. Because if I bail, then the book wins, and I can't have that. I just don't like this book. I feel like if I were a teenager, I would like it a lot more, and that is a bad indicator. But it's basically Spider-Man getting hit with some kind of potion that makes him turn into a savage man spider, like a monster, and he's stuck on an island with Baron Zemo, and some stuff happens. I guess I really couldn't tell you what happened, and I read both issues of this series. Oh goodness, I read both of them back to back because I always read the previous issue before reading the current issue, and this was just, I don't enjoy it. It was like a mess. It was a mess. It's not for me. I don't know if this is in, like I said, I think it's a sequel. I know it's a sequel to Non-Stop Spider-Man, and something happened in that story to maybe make this make a little more sense. Didn't care for it. Didn't work for me. 2 out of 5 issues in. So I'm going to get the rest, and maybe by the end of the run, it will improve. Sometimes I want to use your pull list as a guide for what not to get. Sheesh. That's fair. I try to be, at least be honest about the stuff that I get and I don't like. If something looks interesting enough in the catalog for me to pre-order it, I think that's a good indicator that sets it above all the stuff that I didn't feel was interesting enough to order. It's just they all can't be winners, I guess. And Savage Spider-Man, definitely not the case. Somebody will like it. It's just not my speed. Like I said, if I was a teenager, I think it would be really cool. If I was a teenager in the 90s, I think it would be even cooler. This book reeks of 90s excess to me. Also, your shelves look nice AF. Well, of course they do. I put them together. I went and chopped down a tree and sanded down the wood, nailed it with a hammer and some nails, you know? What can I say? I'm a handyman. I was barely able to lift the shelves into the trunk of my own car. They're very heavy. I am very concerned that at any moment my floor is just going to cave in because these shelves are super heavy, and there are a lot of heavy absolutes and omnis on here. That I live on the second floor, also of an apartment, so any day now, I'm just gonna the whole floor is gonna collapse into my downstairs neighbor's ceiling. So that'll be fun. Not today though. The deep V-neck looks nice as AF. That's just because I'm leaning forward. Also, apparently I yank all my shirts forward. Let's put it back. Let you see Cthulhu instead. There you go. That's better than the chest hair. Thanks, Greg. Or Godzilla too, I guess. Not here. There we go. There we go. Just fix that shirt. I actually had somebody at the gas station today ask me where I got this shirt. It was a cool moment. It's like, yeah, I do have good taste in everything I do, sir. Have you read We Have Demons? No, yes, I did, and it's right here. No, that would have been really cool though. This is Saga. I have not read this. This is number 57, and I still need to read this third hardcover, and then I will start reading all the single issues. My goal was to be caught up by the time this one came out. I failed at that goal because I read a bunch of other stuff. First, I read this guy finally. It's Alan Moore Swamp Thing Volume 1 the other day. I read that, and it was fantastic. The praise that it gets is well deserved. I enjoyed it a lot more than I enjoy Saga, but that's a conversation for another day. I don't know. I think Saga's a little overrated, but that's just me. Next book, Northband, Season 2, Number 5. This is from Scout Comics. Sorry, Season 2, Number 3 of 5. My brain is cabbage. I have not read this yet. I read the Volume 1 of this on 2 years ago when the last set of this book came out. I want to reread it and then jump back into this. But I really liked North Bend. It's a cool CIA kind of government spy conspiracy book that takes place in Seattle. So, of course, I had to get it. I got to represent the home turf. So we can't talk about Saga on Friday. Thanks, Ryan. I mean, that wouldn't stop us. We've talked about Saga before, but I mean, it's going to be people in space chasing after some baby with wings or something. That's kind of how that goes. I got 2 magazine-sized books this week. One of them is The Lion and the Eagle number 2 from Aftershock, Garth Ennis and PJ Holden. This is a Korean War comic? World War II. This is World War II, but it takes place in the Japanese theater, the Pacific theater, the Asian side of the war versus the European side that we see in most movies and shows and stuff. The first issue of this was really cool. I have not read the second one yet, but it's just pure war stuff. I think this is going to be a 3-issue series. Either way, it's cool. And from Aftershock, I think I am maybe the only person at my shop who's getting this. I worked there all day today, and I did not hand out another copy of these. I did sell several of this magazine-sized book, Rogues, from Joshua Williamson and DC Black Label. This was a cool book looking at the Flash Rogues, I don't know what you call them, the group, the gang, the Rogues Association. I don't think they have a real name beyond Rogues, but the group of Flash villains, like 10 years in the future, deciding to come together to steal Gorilla Grodd's gold, which is an awesome premise. And like all issue ones, this was just a really good setup issue. I'm excited to see what happens. I almost said next month, but issue 2 is not going to be coming out next month. These magazine-sized Black Label books seem to take 2 to 3 months at least for following issues to come out. So I'm not holding my breath for Rogues number 2. A little unfortunate because the magazine, the Prestige Plus format DC Black Label stuff are usually like some of my favorite books on my pull list, but they come out so infrequently that I can't ever remember what the hell happens in them. I also think Saga is overhyped almost as much as Sega. Yeah, I feel like Sega, at least, thankfully, had the decency to kind of disappear from the public eye, except for Sonic the Hedgehog. Ryan Ellsworth was one of the first creators I interviewed. Okay. Yeah, he's writing a good book. I never, like I said, I never got into North Bend season 2, but it better be good because I'm getting the whole thing and I haven't even read it yet. Ooh, a World War II comic. Is there a vampire killing Nazis? No, but every World War II comic pretty much has vampires killing Nazis in it, so they don't want to be redundant. Wow, we're not even halfway done or half hour into this video, and there are only 6 comics left. This is a small week for me. Normally, this thing takes like an hour, but also normally I talk about these books a lot more because I feel like I've read a lot more of them. I read all the ones I don't like, so it's very easy to just breeze past them. I don't have that many I don't like, though. Like this one. Oh, God. No, I don't like this one. I don't like this one, but I have not read it yet. This is the final issue for now of Brian Michael Bendis's newest creator-owned book, Joy Operations, that he's doing at Dark Horse with Stephen Byrne. And as always, I think the art in here is the best thing it has going for it. It's very cool, very clean, clear, sci-fi future art that I really like. It's not often that I say the art is the only reason I am enjoying a book. But this comic I am not a fan of. The story, at least. The art, I think, is really cool in here, and the main character, Joy, I think, is a badass. And there's this creepy type of villain in here that is very Lovecrafty in a way. It's just like a big mass of goo that kind of tracks her down and tries to hunt her. But I think overall, the premise here in this comic was really cool, and the best sci-fi stories drop you into a world that is huge and kind of put you on the ground level and let you kind of marvel and look around at the gigantic world that you're in. But in this 5-issue series, we are dropped into this new fantasy sci-fi world, and we are only allowed to look in one room, more or less. I'm trying to make a metaphor or whatever. If this new world we're in were a house, we would be locked in the closet instead of set free to explore the whole house. And now it's 5 issues in and it's already done. So I guess thankfully there's going to be more of Joy Operations in the future. So we'll get to see some of the other environments and settings that we have kind of just been teased with this whole time. But I feel like it was a swing and a miss for me, which is disappointing because I used to really love Brian Michael Bendis, but he's slipping more and more with me these days. Hotel, Volume 2, number 4 of 5. This is almost done. That's a shame because Hotel's awesome. I don't know what more to say. This is the first series that I tried from AWA back when they first launched. Hotel was one of the first wave of comics they did, but this one is about a guy and his dog, and it's just touching, I guess. He is traveling with his dog in this hotel, but the dog gets lost in a hole in the wall, which is a little weird. Kind of reminded me of a specific episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, actually, but it was weird, it was scary, it was sad, it was an interesting mixture of things. I I enjoyed it, and I'm loving how Hotel is almost an anthology series, but with every issue that comes out, you find out more and more that certain characters and certain events are tied back with previous issues in this volume and in volume one. So it's not as much of a standalone series as it first appears. So I love the way that the more you read of Hotel, the more the layers get peeled back, and it's all much more connected than it appears to be on the surface. So Hotel gets a strong recommend, just like this book. Oh, no, We Have Demons. It gets a pretty good recommend. Someone was asking about this earlier. It's pretty good. Greg, Hotel isn't top 10 AWA good, though, according to you. I might reevaluate, honestly. Plus, for the top 10 AWA list that you and I did, Greg, which is a plug, anybody who's interested in AWA Studios should absolutely go check out that video and see what Greg and I think were the top 10. I think it might have just been a clickbaity sort of thumbnail title. I feel like that video was more of a 10 series that show you the breadth that you can get from this publisher. If I was ranking my personal favorite books from AWA, I would probably take out Erratic or Fight Girls, and I would put in Hotel and something else. I don't know. I had to think about it, but our list was definitely more like, here's a sampling of all the different kind of stories you can get from this publisher. But I think they're all really good, and everybody should be reading more AWA comics. We Have Demons was cool. It is from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. It was a Comixology original, so I read this book many months ago on Comixology when it first came out. And it honestly wasn't until I read this book that I realized what people mean when they say they prefer the physical format for stuff. I've always been somebody who is outspoken pro digital comics. I think I still think they have a role in a healthy, balanced comic diet, if you will. I think there is a spot for single issues on a monthly basis. I think there is a spot for trade paperbacks and hardcovers and bookshelf books, and I think there is a spot for digital stuff. However, this being the first thing that I read first in digital and then in physical form, I feel like this book made much more of an impact with me reading it now in the paper single issue format versus scrolling through and reading it on a screen. I also appreciated that the entire script is in this, which is not really something that you see very often, at least not in the single issues. They throw in script samples and stuff in a lot of Absolute editions, like the Swamp Thing Absolute had some pretty cool bonus stuff in the back. But oh, sorry, it says right here a rough outline of issue 1, but it's a pretty thorough outline through the final, I don't know, 7 or 8 pages of this book. Like, there's dialogue, there's panel descriptions. It's a really cool glimpse at the behind the scenes aspect of making a comic. If that's something you are into, you can certainly get that here. It's something I've started to think about more and more, like the process of creating a comic. And I think the more of that we are allowed to see as readers and comic consumers, the more I'm into it. I'm just interested. I really like the nitty gritty nuts and bolts aspect of how comics are made. So yeah, We Have Demons. That's a cool one. I'm hoping every Scott Snyder Comixology book comes out in print. My favorite of which so far is still the book Clear that he is doing with Francis Manapul. I think Francis Manapul is doing like the art of his career right now with that book. He has been a solid artist ever since I first discovered him on the New 52 Flash run, which is right here. He's a really good artist, but Clear on Comixology is top tier. I want to show off this book that I got too. This is an older one. As some of you may know, I am currently trying to collect every issue of Green Lantern that has ever been published. And I don't think he's in the chat right now, but this is a gift from my friend Paul, who is a customer at Mill Geek Comics. But more than just a customer, he is a friend. Paul is a homie. He does roofing for people's houses, and at a recent roofing gig job that he was doing, the guy told him, they got into a conversation, and Paul told him that he was into comic books. And he's like, "Hey, I got a bunch of comic books in my garage. You can take a look and see if you have anything cool." And I guess he picked up that guy's entire collection, and there was one Green Lantern book in there, and he gave it to me, which was cool. It means a lot. This is Green Lantern number 70 with a Gil Kane cover, so that's pretty fun. It's not in the best condition, but it's still in really good condition, and I don't know how to say it, but it's going to sound mean. It's beat up enough for me to think it gives the book character, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. I just don't talk old comics. I'm excited to open this one and read it eventually. Hi, you can't read this or bite this one. You can bite one of these other ones, but not Green Lantern. All right, we're in the home stretch. This is Fourth Man, number 3 of 4, also from AWA. Did this one make our top 10, Greg? I'm pretty sure this one made our top 10. I don't know if it did or not, but I really enjoy the Fourth Man. Actually, as of the other day, I went through and read every AWA series that I have not read yet, which was 3 or 4 books, like Devil's Highway and Grendel, Kentucky, and a lot of those mid-era second-year titles, first year, second year, and second wave titles. That's the better way to put it. I read a lot of those, and none of them were my favorite. I'll put it that way. But I do love Fourth Man. I almost wish I could wait and just read all 4 all at once, because it's going to make a really cool trade when it's all done. I'll probably get the trade, although it's going to be so small that I don't know, it's not really going to show up well on the shelf. I already have Out and Not All Robots, and they're actually right next to each other. Or not. I don't know where my Not All Robots trade is. A little concerning, but I'll find it. No, it's in this box. I know right where it is. Okay. Well, yeah, they're right next to each other, and they're so small. They're so small. I don't like small trades. I like it when they're big, and you can see what you're looking at. Like this one. I think only one issue was out when we filmed. That makes sense. But yeah, the Fourth Man is a really cool murder crime. They market it as a comedy. It's not really it's no more comedic than any drama movie that has funny moments in it, I guess. It's a really cool murder mystery, and again, because I went through and read the books I was least excited for first, and I'm saving the ones I'm most excited for, I have not gotten to Fourth Man number 3 yet. So I'm gonna have some fun here when this live stream is over in a few minutes and read my favorite books, like this one. No, this is not one of my favorites. This is Captain America Iron Man number 5 out of 5, I believe. I think this is the final issue of this miniseries. It has been a pretty cool run, but nothing I love. It is a lot better than I was prepared for it to be. I went in fully expecting this Captain America Iron Man story to be low to medium, and it is solidly medium, with not being low. I don't know. That's like a backhanded compliment. It's very middle of the road. It's a story about this one lady who turns out to be evil, who was very close to both. She was close to Tony Stark at one point in her past, and through her evil plans, she involves Captain America. So they both get involved, and they both team up to try and stop her because they have a stake in stopping this person. And it's just a quick little inconsequential story that's not really going to amount to much at the end of the day, I think. But it ties into some cool older elements of the Marvel history, like the Initiative. that came out right after the Civil War when they made the effort to kind of start a bunch of small Avengers teams all throughout the country, so they aren't all just concentrated in New York City. So one of those other teams, one of the members on that team, it's just a cool story. It's a cool story that ropes in some smaller scale things from the past that I don't know. I guess you could say a theme of the story is reckoning with your past and past mistakes. So it'll be cool. If I had the time, I would like to sit down and reread all 5, but I don't, and I won't. So I'm going to read number 4 and then number 5, and then I'll put it away. And you have to stay here. You cannot go on the table. Last book, it feels thick. What book is this? Can I guess what book this is? No, I can't. Oh, I would not have guessed that. This is Maniac of New York. The Bronx is Burning, number 4 already. 4, I believe, out of 5. The first volume of Maniac of New York was also 5 issues. It's a pure slasher movie comic book, which is awesome. This might as well be a Friday the 13th story, because that is clearly Jason Voorhees. But in this issue, he is going to a baseball game to murder a bunch of people in the crowd, I guess. Man, I don't know where to start today. I'm excited to read a lot of this stuff that I have not read. And Maniac of New York, since it's on the top of this pile here, it might just be the first thing I read. Nope, you stay here. You stay here. You little bastard. No, you cannot go on the shelf. There are a bunch of empty, so I don't know if you can't see it on this camera angle, but this is the top half of the shelf. There are 2 more rows beneath this that are empty, that do not have any comics in them, because this is all I have. This is all the graphic novels and trades I have. So underneath here, there are 8 empty little cubes that this little bastard loves to jump into and just kind of hang out in. So it kind of makes me want to just get a bunch of comics or something to put in the boxes to fill the little holes so he can't jump in there and hang out. Even though he's very adorable when he does that, and I don't want to deprive him of a little cubby hole to hang out in. So that was everything. 42 minutes. That's a pretty quick one of these. I should probably end it soon so I can keep it quick. But I got this Green Lantern book from Paul. Thank you again, Paul. I got 2 magazine-sized books today, which doesn't usually happen on the same day. I got Daredevil hardcover. That's going to be good on the shelf because I love that run of Daredevil so much. 2 Moons trade paperback. That's another one. This 2 Moons was already on the shelf. Time Before Time, Volume 1, because I'm getting Volume 2 here very soon, as well as this stack, which is very hard to get with one hand, but that's okay, kitty. You stay here. Not going to move you. This is a very small stack for me. Like I said at the beginning, that's good because I need the time to actually read all this and then maybe finish Saga finally or read the next Sandman Absolute. I got a bunch of stuff to read, but not right here because this is small and I've already read about half of it. When is your next Bag and Board podcast? You mean with Tom? Pretty soon. It's very hard to schedule that show because it takes a lot of planning. And Tom and I actually talked on the phone about this yesterday. I'm going to be back on that channel. We don't have a date set, but sometime within the next 7 days is the goal that he wants to do. I'm ready to go whenever. I'm just busy on Wednesday and Thursday because that's when I work at the comic shop. But all of the other days of the week, I make my own schedule those days. So whenever Tom's ready. So ask him. Knowing him, probably Tuesday. Although that's just a random guess. Maybe Sunday. Maybe any other day of the week. It's up to him. But we are very close to doing our next Bags and Boards show. And if I have anything to say about it, and I do, I think we're going to be talking about James Tynan's Substack page and going over some of the material on that. And either. No, I don't think it's going to be in that same show, but the idea of talking about various comic creators, Substack pages or Patreon pages, or just direct ways of supporting individual creators. It's a cool idea, and I've been enjoying James Tynan's Substack immensely in the last 2 months that I have been a part of that. So yeah, we'll be doing that and other stuff as well. Almost dropped the cat. God bless homie. Good stuff. Well, thank you. I'm going to put this little bastard on the floor before he claws up my jeans into shreds. There you go. You're done. There you go. Get down. Okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. I'm going to blast through this pile of comics and go to sleep. And you should all go to sleep too, because getting enough sleep is very important. Good night.